Hello and welcome back to Time Out to Talk with me, Bridgeen Mac Manus, and my guests from Sure Start. It is so lovely to have you tune in again for our second episode in this 3-part series. Joining me once again today are the lovely ladies from Sure Start Strabane. We have Sharron Callaghan, Children's Services Manager, and Ruth Huey, our experienced family support worker. Ladies, thank you so much for joining me once again. For today's episode, we're going to obviously move into the baby months and looking at when baby is born. Our last episode was sort of that kind of preparation and antenatal kind of care. And so these are sort of a scary few months for new time parents, as we all know, and we've all experienced ourselves. But obviously, becoming a parent for the first time is daunting in itself, but during a pandemic, even harder. And Sharron, how have you found sort of being on the ground as well and seeing how that's affected people? You know, what's your experience of what you've heard?
Yeah, I would tend to agree. Becoming a new parent can be challenging at the best of times, but obviously with lockdown that can be made worse. You know, we're hearing stories that partners get into the hospital for a very limited time.
Yeah.
Maybe grandparents can't come, you're just worried or whatever, so there's a lack of support. But feedback is showing us anyway that for some mummies, Sure Start has been a real lifeline.
Yeah.
They've been able to join in through Zoom, make connections, share experiences with other mothers. So at the minute it's the next best thing, and I suppose the attendance at our group is testament to that.
Absolutely.
You know, so we're delighted that we can support them at this stage.
Oh, totally, because as you say, you know, that kind of vital sort of family link has nearly been removed and it's been so difficult. I mean, obviously as well, that has led into, I mean, it's very, very anxious time when you become a parent for the first time and you're coming home with a sweet tiny baby and you have all the responsibility and you don't know what to do sometimes. But that can also lead into a lot of anxiety, postnatal depression. That's something that if you're alone can be even more challenging. So what things have Sure Start done obviously to kind of help with that?
That's right, you're right. I mean, it can happen to anyone. You know, there's no
specific type of mummy or the person really.
Yeah.
I always think, you know, looking at some of our groups, sometimes you'll have mummies coming in and they're tired looking, obviously having a sleepless night maybe, you know, and they've just had it's taken all to get in. And you might have the mummy that comes in and maybe, you know, their hair is to perfection, makeup, so on and stuff. And some people maybe think that mummy that looks tired is the mummy that's actually suffering, but it could be the other mummy.
Absolutely.
You know, that's just our experiences, and you not just we can't judge a book by its cover sometimes. But so it doesn't. There's not one specific, you know.
No, and everybody handles it in different ways.
Yeah,
as you say, the mummy who's maybe put on her face is trying to kind of cover over.
Yeah.
And you know, again through lockdown, you know, you don't even have that opportunity to get out and maybe talk to somebody like in a physical way. But thank God there's been the Zoom classes, which have been brilliant, and getting a chance to maybe even, you know, show off your baby.
That's it. It's a big change, and that is a big part of becoming a parent. You can't get out and do that, but I know it's not ideal, but it's, as I say, it's the next best thing, and it's great for some people. And I suppose what we'd want to say to people is, please don't sit in silence. If you're feeling low or anxious, get in touch with us. We do work in partnership with a brilliant charity, Support Together, and you know they've done brilliant work for mummies in that situation. You can contact them directly on their Facebook page, and we're actually going to be running programs now in the next couple of months in partnership with them.
That's brilliant.
So, you know, don't sit there, don't think, what's wrong with me? Why can I not do this? It happens a lot of people, and sometimes you just need a wee extra bit of support or encouragement, and you can get to the next stage. And of course, we'd always say, like, if you're worried or anything, contact your doctor, your midwife, or your health visitor. They're all there to help as well, but we're also equally there.
I think the bond that people build with you in particular, you know, is so important, and that sometimes people feel more comfortable talking to those that they've developed that bond. It might even be more daunting to go to your GP and say, I feel that this is how I feel. Whereas somebody who maybe's got to know you, you know, like through the Zoom sessions, and then you can open up a bit more. So it's great that, and I don't think maybe people realise that they can talk to you, they can talk to Sure Start team members.
Well, I think the beauty of Sure Start is there's a lot of relationship building goes on.
Yes.
You know, and the staff, like, they're amazing, and they do get to know the parents so well. And gain a bit of trust, and they can come to us. And as you say, it can be daunting to take that step, or some first-time mummies just don't realise, that health visitor's there for me until my child's 5.
Yes.
And if they haven't got the confidence or the courage to ring their health visitor or their midwife, we can do it for them.
Brilliant.
So
we have done that.
We really are.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
It's just about. I just think, it is such a hard time, such a difficult time. It's a joyous time.
Yes.
It's a beautiful time, a wonderful time, but it can also bring a lot of emotions. It's and it is that pressure to be perfect and do everything right. So, but I think that's where all our postnatal classes then come in, and I think, I'm not just saying, but I think our team. We've had fantastic training from Support Together as well, and their personal experiences and journey, and that has taught us so much to what, to keep an eye out and just, and obviously be subtle and stuff like that, but just how to support the parents in the right way.
It's lovely. It is great, and it does become a family. Like, I mean, even from my own experiences of having a child too, and being sort of involved with the things that are going on with Sure Start, like getting involved. I found that bond and that connection. It's really, really lovely. It's great to have that sort of family. In a way, it's another family.
That's the way we look at it, really. And I mean, staff are so tuned in. Yeah. And, just if anybody's worried, everything's confidential with us. You can reach out and you will get the support you need. So please don't suffer on your own. There's people there for you, definitely.
Well, as you were saying, Ruth, there's a whole raft of postnatal, programs that you provide. Now, we're going to actually go through some of them, because it's really important that mummies know that when you have your baby, life just doesn't end. There's loads of things. Actually, it opens up a whole other world.
Yes, a different social life.
It's a whole different social life, exactly. So your other one might go to the wayside for a while. Yeah. But you actually build it. It is a whole new world, and that is very, very exciting and fun too. There's obviously going to be a big shock here, because Monday Mums, as many of the mums in the town know, Monday Mums is a brilliant place for them to go, have a chat, meet up. But you're going to reveal that there's a big change coming.
Watch the space.
You heard it here first.
Exactly.
Monday Mums is now going to become time for baby and me.
Very
and
good.
I suppose the main reason for that is that we want to be more inclusive.
Yeah.
The mums have a big role to play, but also daddies have a big role to play, grandparents have a big role to play. So we want to make that group that everybody can come.
More
and just
accessible.
Whatever, maybe when mums return to work, grandparents do a lot of the caring.
Yes, that's great.
So chime in. And again, we see more and more dads coming on board, and they're so keen to get involved, and it's different times now with regards to daddies. Yeah. So we
different.
really want to encourage that at Sure Start. So it's now going to be time for baby and me.
Oh, that's so lovely.
But the structure and everything else will be the same. We'll have our wee rhymes, we'll have our topics of the week and time to chat and stuff like that.
How long does it usually run for, just for mummies there that are maybe listening to this and are just awaiting the birth of their child, and what way does it start? So what time does it usually be on, and what kind of, obviously at the minute we're talking about with the pandemic, it's changed at the minute. So pre-pandemic, what way would it have worked?
It would run in the local library in Strabane, and it's from 10:30 to 12. And it's drop-in.
Yes.
You don't have to book or anything like that, so you just come along with your wee baby. And then now at the minute it's currently running, it's still 10:30, but it's probably a shorter time, 10:30 to maybe 11:15, 11:30. But they try to do as much as what they can. The chat time's still there. The topic of the day is still there. They're getting beautiful wee packs maybe so that they can engage during the session and stuff with Victoria who does. I'm going to have to get used to saying time for baby.
I know,
and me. I was just about to say Monday Mums there.
It's going to take a while, I think, because everybody's used to saying Monday Mums. But no, it's definitely a name change for great reasons. You're so right, things have changed. Like me and you were talking and saying like the many daddies are pushing prams now too. And they really, really like, I've had a fight for the pram some days. But no, I think that's a good thing. It's great for people to have all that support too, and grandparents and things. So now moving on from that, there's these are all brilliant programs, and I've been involved. I've got involved with them too, so I can speak from experience. Baby massage is one I did with yourself, Ruth, when my wee one was wee. It's great, great fun. Tell us a wee bit about that.
A baby massage is probably one of the one of the very first programs that I trained in when I kind of moved from Life Start to Sure Start as such. And do you know what? At the time when I did it, it was like I was so scared doing it. It was probably one of the big, but it was one of the best training that I've ever had. But the one, I really enjoy it, and I still, my very first baby massage class, I remember so well, and all the babies in it and everything about it. But I think it's just giving parents, new mummies again, the opportunity to have that time away, pre-pandemic or before, time to meet other mums, but what they're learning some beautiful massage techniques to do with their baby, to help, like, to calm them down, to help with colic, to help, just the attachment. There's so many, and I mean, definitely when you're doing the classes, when I say about when we're doing the tummy specifically, and you talk about constipation and you talk about going to the toilet and stuff like that, it's like, the proof's in the pudding. By the time it's finished, they have a lovely nappy. They do. And then, what I always say, well, sure, it might be nice for the mummy or whatever, but it works, and it does prove. And it's so, I think the techniques are but it's also something that they can learn and take home again. If mummy comes to the group, daddy's at home, or maybe granny visits, or if they've older siblings, which does happen, that are at the age where they can massage their wee leg, mummy can show all that, and
it's great too, that just even taking that time out just to spend that or with you and your baby.
I think, especially if they've toddlers, it's great that you just have this wee one-to-one time, because it is harder when you have more than one child.
And I know as well, Ruth, you structure the class so well that, you have like all the wee things that you do, the wee techniques, and you learn something new every week, and then there's wee rhyme and the wee songs and things, and it's lovely. And you take those wee songs home and remember them, and then you can sing them, done all that.
Yes. And it's working brilliantly through Zoom as well. Again, at the beginning when all this kicked off, we were like, how is Zoom going to work? But our Zooms have been so positive, and like the mummies are engaging, and like Sharron said, maybe in the earlier podcast about just how the fact that they can link in from the comfort of their own home, and not under the pressure to get out to a class. So we have to take all those positives.
Do you think, just on that, do you think that that's something that you'll run, like where you'll keep the Zoom going as well, or have you thought about that, where you obviously have the bring it, people that want to come out, but maybe have it as well on Zoom, or have you thought about that? Or?
Absolutely. Going forward, we're going to have like a more of a blended service, so we will have face-to-face, and obviously that's the most ideal, and we're dying to get people back that way. But also, parents in some of our survey monkeys and questionnaires have alluded to the fact that they would love us to also keep some of the online things, so we will be doing that.
Brilliant.
I think it's, say you are, as I said earlier, maybe you're going out with a couple of children, it's slashing rain, and you have to come from the car park to somewhere.
Yeah.
Maybe that day you'll think, well, I'll just log on here remotely. It's great.
That's brilliant.
It
and
just
means you get part of it still. You're still, and it keeps that consistency. It keeps people wanting to kind of be like, I'm going to keep doing this, not give up. You know what I mean?
Well,
makes
that's
it easier. But that's brilliant.
Or if you're really sort of in a rural location, and it can be handier. Yes. Just to log in that way. So no, we will definitely be keeping some of it.
So another thing that you do as well is Solid Start. It's another program runs. So obviously it's hard. Again, first time mummy. Second time round, I think things are always easier. But when you're first time mummy, you worry: am I going to kill this child if I give them this, or is this the wrong thing to give them, or is this the right thing to give? When should I give it? There's so many questions. So this clearly eradicates all that and takes the stress out.
we hope, Bridgeen, but it is a minefield. I definitely, weaning, that's a big, you go from just having a liquid diet for your baby
exactly
to offering, and choking is one of the big ones that comes up with Solid Start. So
it's a huge fear of mine now.
Of course, it's probably for everybody, but for some people it's actually a really big fear that to the point where they don't actually want to introduce texture or lumps, and that's probably not helping their baby in the long run.
Absolutely.
So this is where we're there to the Solid Start as another brilliant wee program. And just it's laid out so well. The very first week is a weaning workshop, so it's like what foods is what's suitable, and why do we wean, and why do we need to introduce solids and all that. And then the next 3 weeks is the 3 different stages of weaning. So from obviously the recommendations for weaning now are 6 months, and again we come up against a lot of questions around that, and well, I think my baby's ready at 4 months and stuff. So we can only say the recommendations, and
Absolutely.
This is why, obviously for their wee digestive system and everything, and all their vital organs and stuff. But But once we, you know, again, parents have changed their mind and thought, well, do you know what, I'm going to leave it at 6 months. And the options are better for them at 6 months. They can have more foods and stuff. So
just that wee bit of extra time sometimes can make a big difference in a wee child's life. You see, from 1 week to the next, it's
huge difference.
It's just mad how
That's
quick
right.
it changes. So, and also not putting that pressure on yourself sometimes too. You know what I mean? Like, and giving
peer
yourself
pressure.
time.
Yeah. You know.
But
and
no,
grannies and you know, I'm sorry, but the grannies probably, I have to say, are probably nearly the worst. I'm sorry, they are, but they do, you know, you got potatoes at 6 weeks or something.
No.
We definitely don't encourage that.
So you know, it's really it's a whole new education for mummies, and you know they're given choices. Then, well, they can maybe, if they want to follow their mummy's advice or the grandparents' advice, but
it
empowers them, I think, to feel well, this is my baby, and I want to do it this way, and I want to try it, and that's where Solid Start's a really good program.
Brilliant.
And takes them through that stages right up to their one, like that.
Fantastic.
You know, or have them.
And I suppose, Bridgeen, one of the things about Solid Start, we had some feedback from parents that, you know, I'd love to do this program, but I can't join in at this time.
Yeah.
So for Solid Start in particular, we have done a pre-recorded session.
Yes.
So the girls have sat and gone through each week, and we've recorded it, and we can send that out to parents.
That's
who are working parents or
Yeah.
just can't join in.
Yes, Sharon, the pre-recorded episodes that you do in particular are really good, because it really involves people that say are working, and I think people maybe might have the misconception that because they're out at work, or you know, or they're not available at that time, that they can't get involved where they definitely can, and you shouldn't think that it's still available for you.
Yeah, so Solid Start is one of the ones, and then we also started doing bedtime stories, and they just took off so well.
Oh yes,
you know,
that's
so
very good.
You can, like, I'm not that technical, but obviously you get them on your device and you can cast them onto your TV then. So
yes,
like,
that's right.
You know, the children do love them. And then over Halloween and Christmas, we've done loads of activities like that, pre-recorded, so that people can watch them at a time when it suits them, you know, because children don't want to sit maybe at a particular time.
Yes.
Maybe they're sleeping at this time. So you have it there to use at your own leisure. So there is loads of options. We've learnt a lot. We're now able to upload to YouTube and do all sorts of things that we never could do. But, you know, we had to do it, and we want to reach out to the parents. So we're doing it in any way we can.
It's definitely working. It really is. And just moving on now as well, we've got baby yoga and baby reflexology, or another set of programs that you provide for child development. And I know that, you know, a big thing for parents as well would be sleep. And these things do help. I mean, I've had many sleepless nights. That's one of the big things as a parent for me. I didn't get a great sleeper at all, and I know I'm not the only parent out there, but these things do tend to help, and you should try them, even if maybe it doesn't work once, you should keep going. So Ruth, in terms of baby yoga and reflexology, what wee techniques do you help parents with?
Definitely sleep's a big one, and I suppose the issue of sleep runs through all our baby programs and all the postnatal programs, so it's good that they're getting that, because for some parents maybe they prefer to do baby massage and baby reflex, and maybe don't want to do baby yoga, maybe just, you know, it's their own choice. But so the same kind of themes run through all our wee groups, which is great. But certainly baby reflex is one. There is definitely, I mean, I'm not trained in baby reflex, but I know, listening to the other girls and my colleagues there's very much certain techniques and parts of the foot that they can work on that helps with sleep. I suppose it's similar to baby massage when we do the wee foot massage, because that's obviously a small part of reflexology. So there is baby yoga, I would say. This is my own personal experience and my own personal views. I think sometimes baby yoga is one of the best ones for helping your baby sleep, and that's just going on feedback from parents. And even when they, you know, finish, like if we did a wee 20-minute baby yoga session and do all those wee exercises, stretches, maybe rolling over, tummy time, that's like a workout for us. Not that I would know what going to the gym is like and doing a workout, but if we did any form of physical exercise, that's what it's like for your baby's wee body. So naturally enough, it tires them out.
Absolutely.
And then obviously we combine baby yoga with lovely relaxation techniques. So it's not just about the activity bit, it's about the relaxation as well. So that all helps with sleep.
Yes. I know it's really good, and even people maybe that might be skeptical, like they again, it's the point of trying it,
just give it a go,
trying it out, because you have to start somewhere and be like, oh, that might not work, or I don't think that'll work, or I don't think they like it. Give it a go, give it a go, see what they, and you actually, it does, as I've said, open up a whole new world.
Oh, it does.
And your wee baby does enjoy that movement and just that wee bond as well.
Yeah, well, you're getting to that stage in baby yoga where they're obviously maybe a wee bit older. Baby massage normally we try and do in the earlier months, baby yoga follows, but they're getting to be that where they're more active. They're they're beginning to roll over, they're beginning to maybe learn not to sit up but to learn to balance, and we encourage all that by the moves that we do. But it is also, I think there's a fear sometimes with new mummies that maybe it'll be too much for them. And that, but we stress at the beginning, it's about going at your pace, doing what you're comfortable doing. Nobody's under any pressure to do anything. And the lovely thing about baby yoga that sometimes we can't do in baby massage is that we can do a move with their baby. We have that permission to do it if a parent's happy for us to do it. So I know there's times that there's a couple of the energetic moves that the mummies will say, here, will you take him? Because maybe he was a £9 or £10 baby and he's obviously got a lot. So Ruth, do you want... happily do that, like it's lovely to do that, but it's about going at your own pace. So I think that's one of the biggest fears with baby yoga. They think that maybe they won't be able to do it, the parent.
Yes, and the baby probably will be up for anything, really, to be honest, because that's the thing, children are so versatile.
It's great for their flexibility. And like all the programs then always finish with songs, they're always included in rhymes, and all that. You're getting so much out of them. So good for early language development, so there's so much in a class. It's not just about the yoga, it's everything else that comes with it.
And you don't have to do them all. You can pick, say, if reflexology isn't for you, but baby, yoga is, you can do either one or the other. You don't have to be, and as I say, parents can drop into the one that they feel works best for them and baby. So obviously then, the final kind of one we're going to talk about is the Incredible Years baby and parenting programs. So Ruth, would you like to give us a wee bit about that as well?
The Incredible Years, again, just something like training. We did all our training for Incredible Years in Wales, and that's probably another podcast on its own.
All the adventures, the things you got up to.
But some, again, great training, and the Incredible Years baby program is another one that I personally love delivering, because again, it's taken on like a holistic view of parenting, and it's over the course of the 8 weeks.
So it's an 8-week program.
It's an 8-week program, and we are actually doing over Zoom. We're sticking to the 8 weeks
Very
now.
good.
We have shortened the time slightly because again, it's a 2-hour program normally, but 2 hours we think is a wee bit just too long over Zoom. But so we have shortened it, but the 8 weeks is fine and it's working. And each week we have different topics, but it's like getting to know your baby. So one of the big ones is crying, learning those cries. So you can imagine, even just as a new mum.
Oh yeah, it's so
how many different cries they have.
Oh my God, and trying to get used to it. And then I don't know, I didn't know this one, kind of like this Twilight Hours one, where it like. For me, it was between 7 and 9 at night, constant 2-hour cry. I never knew, and that went on for like a number of weeks, and then it just stops. But them things, again, you're educating people on that. I didn't know them things. That's brilliant. That's there.
That's it, and it's normalising that, like, babies cry. If you think that's the only way they communicate, automatically new parents think that. I think especially first-time mums, Incredible Years babies is a brilliant program for first-time mums, but also for maybe second, third-time mummies, because every baby's different. But I think the second, third time around you are that wee bit more relaxed, whereas a first-time mum and dad that's crying and they think, what is wrong with my baby? And 9 times out of 10, it's just they just need a wee feed, they need change, they need a wee cuddle. Surely they might be sick at times, but again, we talk about all that and the supports like your health visitor and, that are around you, and that the health visitor's there. We also talk a lot in it about, routines when it comes to the time for routines and trying to, manage a predictable routine and a routine that's manageable, as opposed to trying to set something that's not manageable.
Exactly, because there has to be flexibility too. Like there will be a routine as such, but sometimes that can be knocked off by different wee things, and just as you say, normalising all that.
Yep. And I suppose another big part of the Incredible Years is, like Sharron just said about the song, is language development.
Yes.
Their social and their language development, and every week, the babies, we always do so many fun activities for the babies, and that's singing, or we story time, or play time, or we do tummy time, and so
it's lovely.
It's one of the few parenting programs where the babies come along with you to it, and at the start we were like, how is this going to work? The babies are there.
We did our first one together
for the full session. But we've never had a problem. Like, they've always been just brilliant, and just get on with it. And,
and the room is set up to allow for that too, because we make it lovely and comfortable. We're all on the floor if parents are happy to sit on the floor, but we've lovely wee areas for them if they wanted. The big quilts is down, they can lie down, fall asleep, and they wake up and they maybe get a feed, and then they have song. So
it's very relaxed.
It is. It's
And what age would the children be? How many months would the children be when they're on credit, when this program's running?
I suppose it's we can go from birth, but obviously they're not, because we're focusing on those early days of crying. So if we're trying our best maybe to get them in those early months. The program goes from not to one.
Yes, so
focuses on that
as
first
early
year,
as possible.
As early as possible.
So really, it's encouraging again any parent listening that, say, a parent who's maybe due to give birth or maybe has just given birth, to get in touch with us. Get signed up now, and don't be scared, don't be afraid.
Absolutely.
Go for it.
Even simple things like, I know Ruth mentioned all the different types of crying, but it's just reassuring parents. If your baby cries, go to them. You can't spoil a child. That was a perception way back years ago. Oh, they'll be all right. But no, you need to go. It builds their security, their sense of attachment. So there's no such thing as spoiling your baby. Just go, respond to them as like part of our 5 to Thrive. Respond, they're there, cuddle them, feel relaxed.
That's
so
brilliant.
It all works in.
I know.
It's lovely. No, I think those programs now, I mean, for any mum or dad, don't forget the dads. Listening, the wealth of programs there is fantastic, and avail of them, because that first year goes in a blink, and before you know it, you can't avail of those because the baby's too old. So you have to get in there. So again, reach out, and we'll talk about that at the end, about the different ways that you can contact the girls at Sure Start. Just one last program to finally cap on again, Sharron, is the breastfeeding support group, which again comes into really, really big play at these early months.
Yes, so we do continue that on. It's always there. In normal times, if you had a toddler, we would offer creche for them.
Yes.
And hopefully we'll be doing that again soon. I suppose one thing we're proud of is last year we received our UNICEF level 1 breastfeeding accreditation.
Brilliant.
In Sure Start. So there was 4 Sure Starts in the West went together, and we all received that. So we're delighted about that. So that just entails all the staff have to have a certain level of training, and we have a dedicated space if a mother wishes to breastfeed, so they can come in if they're out a walk and need somewhere, they're always welcome to come in to us.
That's fantastic.
So, and we're also part of the Breastfeeding Welcome Here scheme.
Brilliant. And you'll see the wee signs up on the door, so anybody that's looking, that they're there, and it gives great comfort to people that need somewhere private to go. All amazing programs, and really definitely reach out and get involved, as I say, to parents listening. So success story now, obviously we're going to look at all these programs are successful, but stay and play has been a big thing with Sure Start, for people who've had children. It does what it says on the tin, really, stay and play, which is lovely, and play is such a huge part of child development. It's the big thing. Obviously you've had to move online due to the pandemic, but that has certainly not stopped you.
No.
And so what way have you adapted, and how have you, how has it been going?
Yeah, well, we ran numerous stand plays in the community. We had a couple in the library, we had some in community centres. So now they're called at-home stand plays because they're over Zoom. But the attendance has been absolutely brilliant. We're running 3 a week at the minute.
That's fantastic.
And they're receiving their pack to extend their learning at home. They join in the arts and crafts. They send us in photos of their creations. It's brilliant to get to share all that, and they send us some feedback. So I can say plenty of good things about Sure Start, but I suppose it's better when it comes from the parents. So we just want to share a wee bit of feedback that we got from a parent recently there just last month. So in her words, she just said Sure Start have been doing great. They got up and online very quickly. She didn't recommend any changes. And as a mother of 3, she thought she wouldn't be able to attend all them classes because they're all different age groups.
Yes.
But she's able to log in from home and, do whichever activity is suitable for each child, or they can all join in depending on what it is. And she herself has done the stand play, and she's just saying it was fantastic joining with her little girl. Loves logging in to see Ruth, and it's great to have the activities and resources, as it's not easy now to get out either.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and not everywhere is open. You can't get everything you want, but we're providing it delivered to their door, which is brilliant.
Yep.
And she's also noted, you know, that staff have said to ring any time. They're always at the end of the phone, and they're really supportive. And I suppose, like all of us at times, she says it's great if you need to mute at any point then in the middle of it, because you know there are some very busy houses. So I think we're all aware of that. We've all done that at some point.
Yeah,
you're on mute.
Yeah,
but we want to be on mute. No, I mean, and for anybody listening as well, it isn't aware of what you mean by these packs. The Sure Start team have been literally creating packs of activities, arts and crafts, and going and hand delivering them. Sorry, I couldn't get my words out. Hand delivering them to your door. To say that is such a lifeline on those days at the minute, and as me speaking as a parent as well, not being able to even go to a wee soft play area, not being able to go to the pool, not being able to meet friends, not being able to get you together with your friends and their children. It gives a focal point for the day. So it's definitely been a big success and fantastic work. All because of you know, girls. So again, from all of the parents, I'm sure they'd join me in thanking you for doing all that, because it's meant so much. And
you know, I would encourage anybody that hasn't joined us yet to give it a go. If you're a bit worried, ring us. We can talk you through how to join Zoom or how to get it up and online. It was a bit daunting for ourselves at the start, you know, and not everybody's technical, me included, but we can talk you through it. We can even email you script of how to do it, you know, and once you sort of get into it, and I'll tell you, you'd be amazed how soon the children get used to it. They're sitting there waiting for the people to come on, and they're waving to their wee friends.
That's
and
so true,
you know, they're actually waiting. So don't be afraid, you know, just let us know and we will help you.
Because I have actually, you know, I suppose a way for me that worked, you know, some mummies, Ruth, I've never used Zoom, and I'm like, well, neither did I up until, but you know what, it's fine. Why don't I've sent them the wee link, and I've just done a wee 1-to-1 link and now to see if it works for you. You know, it only takes a few minutes, because I did that actually with my own children, because when I was when I first learned how to share and stuff, I asked them to link in for me to see can they see the screen, and it's just about building their confidence.
Absolutely.
And that's just, you know, it takes a couple of minutes, but it actually means then they've no bother linking in.
It's giving people the tools to thrive.
That's
and that's what you're doing.
And don't think we're the experts. Like, we had to learn loads as well. You know, and we've never heard of Zoom, and now we're Zooming all the time. So
I know, you know, if you think back, you know, to just over a year ago, we'd have been all, what's that?
Exactly.
And it's been such a important part of our lives. So just to kind of, before we finish off this podcast, we're going to highlight a few new campaigns. Ruth, 5 to Thrive, we're going to just mention again, because although we talked about it before, it's embedded in all the programs we've talked about as well, for the wee babies. In the early months as well. So if you give us a wee bit of info about that again.
It is. It carries on from the antenatal programs right through now to the baby programs. I suppose your blocks, like, I mean, all 5 blocks are so important in those early days. Like, you know, when that wee baby comes home, how we talk to them. Just because maybe they sleep a lot and they feed a lot, we still can talk to them. We need to respond, obviously, and all that. But as I say, it runs through every postnatal program. Just touching on the 5 to Thrive and the Stay and Plays, our last block, our 5-week block, we focused on a 5 to Thrive Stay and Play. So their packs was all around. So each week we focused on one particular block. So obviously, you know, respond, and then we focused on the colour that particular block was. So because children, obviously, you know, there's so much learning there.
Oh my God, yeah.
You know, and their wee story was maybe like, I mean, I have to mention the library staff in Strabane here were so good, because the way some of our Stay and Plays work, the library staff link into 2 of the Stay and Plays to do the stories, but unfortunately they can't do the 3rd one. So we just do that ourselves. But you ring them, they do up the books for us, and I give them the topics, and they were able to, you know, do me a couple of books on Respond and on Red or Relax and Green. So it tied so well, and the children then each week, and on the last week then it was like, you know, I held up the building blocks for them, and they were like, you know, I what's Red, and the mummies and grandparents helped them, but it was such a good way of getting our 5 to Thrive message across.
That development, and it's just all coming through.
There's so much learning, but it's all fun that they don't even realise that they're learning, you know.
Absolutely, that's brilliant, fantastic. And Sharron, obviously as well, I know that with lockdown, it's been just crazy, but you have found something nice out of it. You're planning an exhibition for lockdown babies, is that correct? Because there've been so many babies born during this time, and they're a special set of babies and a special set of parents.
It's a bit like the millennium maybe, but
yes.
now we're looking at lockdown babies. So again, this is first maybe that you've heard it here. We are planning an exhibition for all babies born during lockdown. So that will be on our page very shortly, if you just keep an eye out on that. But anybody who joins in will be getting a free portrait of their baby, and it'll be an exhibition, whether it's in the Alley Theatre or somewhere local in Strabane. We're not sure yet. We'd like to maybe do a bit of an outdoor exhibition and an indoor exhibition. So it's at the minute it's all very much in the planning stages, but it is definitely something we'll be doing hopefully now before the summer.
Oh, that's going to be so lovely. All them, and they'll be, any community that gets involved, but it's particularly our community we're specifically talking about. But going up, I mean, I would go in and look and be like, oh, that's such and such as baby, and your friends that have had babies at the time, and it's just going to be so lovely.
I think even if you don't, if you just look at a baby and see a smiling baby, it brightens up your day. Like it really does, So it's a 1-1 situation for everybody.
Definitely. There've been wee lights in this very difficult time. So that'll be just brilliant. A fantastic idea, and I'll be looking forward to that myself. So just to finish off this episode again, obviously we've talked about getting in touch, and I just want to encourage mums and dads out there to please do contact the team. It's so easy on Messenger, so easy. The staff get back to you. Great social media presence, Strabane Sure Start. You can search, it's not just basically what it is, Strabane Sure Start.
Strabane Sure Start and Family Centre.
And it'll come up. Any other wee bits of contact information, just I know we've said it in our first podcast, but please go ahead and put out the details again.
Telephone number,
it's just to get in touch over telephone, you know, because we're going back to partial reopening now. On Monday there'll be more staff in the office. Brilliant. So our main number is 028 71 382 658. But like if you can't get through or anything, if you private message the page, somebody will get back to you.
Definitely.
If it's out of working hours, they mightn't respond, after 5, but they'll get back to you the next day, no problem.
Definitely, absolutely. No, that's brilliant. As I say, I've had great, with great ease, I've been in contact, and the team are there to support you so much. So please do not be shy. Come forward, get yourself registered obviously as well, and then you can avail of all these fantastic programs. Ladies, it's just been a pleasure again. I've so enjoyed talking about all these programs with you and finding out so much about them and the passion that you have for them. So thank you.
Thank you.
Hopefully I'll see you for the next episode now if you want to come back.
Oh, I'm sure we will. Yes, we're looking forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ladies. Thank you.
All right.
And if there's something on your mind and you can't figure out why, learn to love and open up to what's inside. You'll be surprised what you might find.